Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. Welcome to the Commonwealth cabin over here. The death pile den right there. Listen, if I had a dime for every eBay conspiracy I've heard over the last 5-10 years, I'd be a wealthy man. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and as it relates to our psyche as eBay resellers. And we got a lot of awesome, really cool things that I want to show you today that sold. Let's go take a look. Hello everybody, we've got a little exciting news. You guys do so much for us. Viewers of the Commonwealth Flipper channel, Picker channel on YouTube, as well as on Facebook as well. We decided we were going to do one of our shows on Whatnot and give away a ton of stuff. Matter of fact, we are going to add all kinds of things that we typically do. Our typical giveaways, a ton more giveaways, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. We're going to have a ton of items in that show starting at $1 for auction as well, but we're adding 2 more features to it. One, of course, we talk about all the time, which is if you go through that link and you've never signed up before, get a free $10 to spend, but we're gonna have an in-store coupon as well for people to use. And you can get, if you're in that show, $5 off, and we decided we'd put a bunch of merch over there for $10 or less, and a bunch of stuff that we typically sell on eBay in this eBay cave right here, but we're going to put it over there on discount as well. So the discounts, plus you get the $5 coupon even if you've signed up before, plus you get $10 if you've never signed up and you go through that link. Check out what we're giving away. And I've got one more surprise for you hardcore Commonwealth Picker watchers over there on YouTube for years. So we're giving away Chick-fil-A gift cards throughout the show. We're giving away brand new sealed AirPods as well. All the other typical stuff we give away, we're giving those away during the show, including 1 month free of my Reseller Genie. And like I said, all the merch stuff that we typically sell is on discount, plus the $5 off in-show discount as well. Should be really fun. We just wanted to give back to you guys for giving so much to us. And we have a limited quantity. And if you don't know what the heck these are, then you don't watch the Picker channel for the last few years. This is Honest Tim for President shirt, leadership in 2024. Make garage sales great again. So if you know what I'm talking about, that's the only place you're going to be able to get it at this point. And this is all we have. So that should be fun. And we've got a ton of great items. Come and join us. Go bookmark that show if you haven't already. I can't wait for this show. It is scheduled for April 19th. I'm not quite sure the time of day, somewhere between 4 and 6 probably. There's going to be a ton of giveaway shows that day from a bunch of other people as well, and we figured we would join in and do our part. It's going to be a great time. Come and join us. And we have a ton going on today, as you can see. We've been doing some shipping. These are some Dibdit comic book sales. And let me get, I don't have my light on back here. I'm going to go turn that on real quick while we're doing this. I always like to have this backlight on. You can see things a little better, and I can see a little bit better. But I'm going to pull a few orders and talk about some of those conspiracies and some of the stuff that I hear on YouTube from time to time. And to be honest with you, I don't have the answers. And I want to talk about that a little bit. But this right here, I might show you a picture because I don't want to take it out of the package. If this was a cool pickup, you've probably just now seen it or will see it soon. Probably seen it already on the Commonwealth Picker channel, the picking channel. I was with Rod Picking and Punching, and we had a deal going, and we were both working on it. And so we both bought this one in a different petty car. And he let me pick first, and I'm like, well, we knew what the other one was worth. I think one of us looked it up, and we didn't know what this one was worth. And I figured that was a nice big winner for him. I'm going to take a chance on this one. And I think the one he got was better, which is kind of what I was intending. And this one still was really good. I can't remember what we paid. Maybe 10 bucks, 15. Sold for $60 plus shipping. So as I get into this and we start picking orders and talking about conspiracies, theories, I want you to know that the topic of this video really isn't about those particular theories. They're about the way that we let those things affect us. But I am going to get into some specifics. And if you've been watching YouTube for a while or following Facebook groups or on eBay pages or anything like that, this stuff is rampant and it's everywhere. And nobody can quite figure out the answers to why you have sales up here and sales down here, or you do the same thing forever and then all of a sudden you're 50% less in sales over a month that you've always done. So those kind of lead themselves to theories that people make up because they need to have a reason. They need to have an answer for things because our minds don't like it when we don't have the answer to something. But you know what our minds do like? the glow. My mind likes the glow. I don't know what it is, but people just like it. Not like they got black lights all around their house when they buy stuff, but well, some people do, I guess. This is an acro agate ashtray with a little, I don't even know what the heck that thing's for, but this one's got the glow, little uranium glass on there, and or Vaseline or whatever anybody wants to call it. I know I'm no expert, but I know to buy that when I see it for $5, and I know to put my black light on it to make sure that it is what I think it is. Although that would sell anyways, with or without the glow. And there's different types. Some do, some don't. $64.95 plus shipping. I think I paid $5. You know, it's the simple stuff we've all heard so many times before, like, you know, delist, relist, or end, sell similar. And this is what you need to do. Once a month, you got to go through this. Or you've got to drop out items that don't have a good sell-through rate in order to boost this store. And I'm not criticizing any of these per se. I'm just saying that there are thousands of these, well, maybe not thousands, there's hundreds of these things that I've heard over and over again. And of course, there may be some legitimacy to this stuff. A lot of it isn't necessarily, you know, conspiracy theory, because I think there's a pretty good amount of evidence for some of what I just said, actually. But some of it is just, you know, I think it hinders us more than it helps us to constantly focus on things that we just don't know about. All right, these are Evo shields. I bought 5 of these. No, I bought 6 of these for $12, I think, or something like that. I can't quite remember what I bought, but it wasn't the best deal in the world. They're I don't know if you got any baseball players out there. I obviously was a coach, so I know, but you put them on your wrist and it protects it, and there's a little mold that goes in there and all that stuff. But there's a set of 3. So I've already made my money back on all the ones I bought, plus a little profit, because they sold for $26.55 plus shipping. Not really worth it to sell on their own for me. Figure I'd put them in a lot and do just fine that way. Now, I will say that there's like different levels of these theories that you hear out there, and one of them I think is much more dangerous than the others. You know, the kinds like I just mentioned, the delist, relist kind of thing and whatever, that stuff's not ever going to hurt you, ever. It's going to boost your sales, but it's the stuff that we can't control, that we obsess over, that really kind of puts us off track. Molten Brown London, different lotions, I guess. These sold for their brand new, $45.95 plus shipping. Sold another Olympus camera. I think I sold 2 today. I sold 1 the other day, and all Olympus cameras aren't made alike, and that is for sure, because some of them go for good money. And I guess I should give you an example of one of the ones that, I think this is on top, I pulled it out when I had the last Olympus. This is it, Stylus 120. Bought this at the, where was I at? That was Peaches to Beaches, y'all. I think I paid $10 for it. And I didn't even have to look at the model or look it up or anything, because, you know, any Olympus that's in good condition is going to go for at least that. So, but this one was a really good one. $116 and change plus shipping. So I guess just one that comes off the top of my head, because I read this just a couple days ago, was that eBay is suppressing my listings. They're not letting my listings be shown, and their theory, the person's theory, was that it was punitive. There was something about my store where they want, not mine, but their store, where they wanted to suppress it, because those aren't the kind of things that eBay wants to sell. Those aren't the kind of sellers that they want to have, or something like that along those lines. And, you know, I doubt that, but that's my personal opinion. I don't know that. I know at times when you have those roller coaster rides, and there was a serious roller coaster ride, and I heard it from almost across the board, you know, I don't know, 8-9 months ago, if you will. And I saw it, and it was really, really erratic. So I'm not saying there's not any legitimacy to these things at all. It's just there's only so much in our control. We can't control everything that eBay does. Now, I think we can control some things that eBay does over time, and our voices can be heard. And I've even heard lately that, you know, eBay's returning to its roots, which is something I told you when I had the opportunity to speak to some folks from eBay, which was an amazing opportunity. And I told you at the time that I felt like they might be moving in that direction, away from the massive luxury brands and things like that, and back to the typical things people think of eBay for, because of all their other competition, and they wanted to kind of carve out the typical eBay place that used to be eBay. I don't even know if that's true. I hope it is, but that's my whole point, is most of the time we just don't know. And I have great sympathy for folks who say they're doing things the way they've always done them and their sales are down massively. I don't have the answers for you. I really don't. I can just tell you I've seen those swings myself. We had a swing the other day. We were selling $500 a day plus for a long time. And it went down to $135 for a day. And you know, you're like, man, why is stuff not selling today? It's kind of human nature. The next day it bumped up. I mean, we have over 1,000. Well, I think on eBay, I think I wrote this down. I mean, don't give you the wrong info. 18 sales, $992.18. And we had 3 cross-listing sales as well. So we're over 1,000 headed out of here today. That doesn't mean we had 1,000 in sales. This is from today's sales and yesterday's sales. And let's face it, you know, sometimes there are some weird things that happen on eBay that make you think, what in the world? Something's funny going on. This is one of them right here. And I'll tell you a little Mercari story that made me think the same thing. Makes me put my tinfoil hat on, you know. I think this is the right one. They're both the same size, but they're different because, you know, they have, anytime you're dealing with something vintage, there's something a little different. But this one had, let me see the color. Yep, that's it. So this one right here, if you remember, I had a hat over here the other day. This is a band uniform, a vintage one, and there's a hat sitting there. And I'm like, this stuff's been here forever, over a year. Nothing, no bites, no offers, no nothing. And all of a sudden, one of them sells. And then 2 days later, this one sells after not even a watcher for years. It's so odd to me. So it makes you think, oh, maybe they are hiding things, right? Maybe that was hidden and all of a sudden it's back into the system or something. I just don't know. And there's a lot of folks out there who talk about that stuff all the time. I usually don't because I don't know. I'm not going to talk about something I don't know about. I might occasionally, but this one sold for $36 plus shipping. And by the way, that's not necessarily to be taken as a criticism. There's a lot of people whose minds work very different than me in the YouTube space and on social media where they dig into those numbers and they look at stuff. I never look at anything. I never look at any of that stuff. I never have looked at any of that stuff. I mean, I'll look at the sell-through rate and stuff like that, but impressions and all this stuff, I don't know. I do find it odd sometimes that if we have a ton of listings, that there's very few things I can send an offer out on, and then some other days there's hundreds that I can send an offer out on. It makes me think, maybe there's some kind of cycle, and maybe there is. But I'm not going to spend 3 hours researching it. I'd rather spend 3 hours doing something that I know I can control and be productive at. And of course, when you're watching other folks' success out there, other stores, and they go through ups and downs, and you've seen that on this show where my sales haven't been great, and then all of a sudden they're amazing, and then they go back down. I mean, you see that stuff, and you want to compare yourself, and that gets you in a little bit even worse mood. I think there are, you know, cyclical patterns to this. I should probably talk about the items. This is a Wrinkles pup right here. I've bought a few of these over the years and sold them. They're not huge money, but I love them. And that one was in pretty good condition. And so it's a cross-listing sale right here. And what did it sell for? I gotta look. $19.75 plus shipping. There's an example right there. You know, cross-listing. Yeah, I don't do a ton of cross-listing. As a matter of fact, I don't do, you know, I probably should do more. When my sales go down is when I start to think about it a little bit more. My wife is in charge of the cross-listing. And so she's been super, super busy lately. I think we have 150 things up on Mercari, and we get a sale every now and again. And we've stopped doing Posh for right now. But, you know, if my sales started to go down, I wouldn't necessarily look for the reasons why they've gone down externally. I would look internally, and I would try to diversify and figure out ways that I can continue to do what I do and what I love to do. And I think that's pretty much commonplace, and maybe that is cross-listing. For some folks, they just simply don't have the time to do that, and they have 40-hour-week jobs and stuff, and so it's not really an option. And everybody wants to go search for answers, but I can tell you one thing that really gets people down is that comparison game. And I could do it. You know, we do this show, and people tell me, oh, your sales are so good and whatever. Listen, I know tons and tons of people who sell way more than I do. If I focused on them, I would never get better. I would never be happy. What do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. And I think that is the truth for sure. So, you know, don't compare yourself to everybody out there. I mean, you can take it in and let it inform you, but don't let other people's success be a barrier to what will make you successful or make you happy. Plus, everybody's definition of success is very different. My definition of success is to have no debt, to have all my bills paid, and for me to be able to enjoy the little things like sitting underneath that tree out there, being able to take my family on vacation, and just simply being able to do this instead of teaching like I used to. And I love teaching. But to me, that's my definition of success. I'm living it and having time to be able to do things and build things. I mean, here's, you know, I'm not creative, right? I'm not artistic. I can't draw. I can't do any of those things. But what I love to do is build things with a group of people. So whether that's, or maybe even by myself, the stuff that I've built, Garage Sale Nation Facebook group, Trash to Cash podcast with Dave and Carrie. Now I've been focusing quite a bit on Dibdit.com and with my other buddies, Eric and Uncle Steve Picker with Mulligans.com. And I don't know if it's going to succeed or not, but I love to do that stuff as well. And sometimes our energy, where we put our energy is where you get your success. And I am always going to put my energy here on eBay because I just love it so daggone much. Another Olympus sold. I want to make sure this is the right one, though. I don't think that's the right one. Here it is. This is the right one. Camera day today, y'all. Pretty sure. $99.95 plus shipping. I just paid $1 for this one the other day. Crazy. You know, some of those other theories you hear about promoted listings, like once you start it, you know, and you try to stop, eBay punishes you, or they punish you because, you know, they temporarily punish you to get you down so that you will start promoting listings. And what, look, maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have the answers, and I don't think a lot of people truly do have all the answers. They may have more than me, but I can tell you that when you get yourself down in the dumps and you start to buy into those things, you become less productive because you don't see the possibilities. I think that can be an issue. You know, that reminds me of some, you know, when you get down, because your sales are down, you know, if you have a good week or a good month, you're just automatically up. And all those things that you thought maybe were the issue before, you know, that didn't stop you from having a good month this month. So it reminds me of my grandmother who passed. She was in here for an episode a long time ago, if you've been watching. And she told y'all that she didn't like Harry Tornado very much, which made me happy. I'm kidding. That was just a joke. But it was funny. She did say that. She thought that Josh had copied everything that I did. And I was like, Granny, that's not what happened. I promise. Any rate, I don't even know what. Oh, it's because what she would talk about. She would always say, because she had 5 kids. And, you know, when somebody would get grumpy and down or whatever, she'd say, oh, they'll get happy in the same britches. Meaning, you know, we get down on ourselves when things go the wrong way, but it's not long, you know, in the same britches. You know, you're going to get happy in the same clothes. It's not going to take you very long, and things will turn around. I hope that's the case for those of you who are struggling out there, who are going through those dips. Just know that you're not alone. We all go through those dips from time to time. Like I said, 2 days ago, we sold $135 worth. And that was after day and day of 500 plus sales. So, you know, it's only one day, but there was a time a few months back, 5 or 6 months back, when I made those big changes. And remember, those were things that I could control. When I made those big changes, I did it because we were having slow sales. And some other reasons too. Here's a good example of putting your energy that you do have towards things that can be productive. And, you know, I've talked a little bit about District and Dibdit.com. Well, and I've kind of said this. I try not to push things too much because I don't want people to think that this stuff's all ready for prime time. But my uncle does a ton of golf. And so I decided, hey, let's go with him and Eric OBX, my buddy, who knows quite a bit about District, and let's start a golf District marketplace. And that's exactly what we did, and I've been helping them with that, and they've been helping me with this. And it's slow growth, okay? So don't act like, you know, hey, oh, Commonwealth Picker said go over there and do this and whatever. Look, it's not like that at all. But I toy with these kind of things, just like we've been really working hard at building Dibdit. That's starting to grow now as well, just because I really like to protect. This is a vintage one made in Hong Kong. I actually undersold this because I put it over there on Mulligan's Golf Shop.com, and it sold really quick because I used the magic feature. It sold to Sean for $15 plus shipping. All master stuff, perfect timing, of course, is not made equally. This is an older one. This was easily a $20 shirt. I put it out there for $15 plus shipping. But if you find the Peter Millar stuff, the vintage stuff, it can really go for good money. And of course, I just love the masters ever since Nicholas. That was like implanted in my head in the 80s when I was a kid. So anyway, but that's the kind of fun stuff that goes on. Just about the magic comment for a second, because I know people will ask about that. It's where you can actually take an item. I just posted this item, and I posted a picture to my Instagram, and if they type claim in the comments, they get sent an invoice. And so I posted it over there, and somebody said claim, and they got an invoice. And yeah, you know, it's helpful to have social media to sell this stuff, don't get me wrong. But it's just something that I use often now. It seems like, I think I've posted 8 things over there, and 7 of them have sold using that magic comment thing, which is kind of cool. But that doesn't mean it's going to be an overnight success. But golf is a pretty cool category. My uncle knows a bunch, so I figured we'd try to grow that one over there. Holy cow, another camera, y'all. This was one I'm so glad is gone. I buy this stuff. Sometimes I'll see a box full of camera type stuff. And you know I don't love doing cameras, but there's so much good money in it, I figured I'm just going to pick it up. Paid 20 bucks. I think this is it right here. Although I'm not. No, you know what? I don't think that's it. Hold on. I just remembered that I put this one in here because that camera bin was so full, but now it's getting empty. Well, maybe not empty, but it's definitely getting a little bit less full. How's that? This is a Pentax lot, and it's got some lenses in it and the camera, and I definitely undersold this, but I wanted it gone because I had so much and I had so little into it. Like I said, I paid 20 bucks for a box full of stuff, and that was in there. I figured this would be the big winner, so if I found anything else, we'd be good. This little Pentax film camera, vintage, sold with everything in it here for $75 plus shipping. I probably could have got 100 to 125 if I was willing to test everything and list it and wait. But I decided I'd get it sold, 75 plus shipping. So be honest with me now. I've kind of given you a little peek into some of the things that my mind thinks when you get those weird things happening and those ups and downs. But let me know what you think. Maybe if your sales are really down, what's the reason behind it? You don't have to have any evidence for it. We're talking about conspiracies here, after all. Or do you think there's any theories out there that you've heard lately that are completely ridiculous? This is, here it is right here, a little bobblehead. It's sold. I've been keeping glass out in the other shed so we don't have to go back and forth, but that shelf's a little full. So this is an Anthony Rizzo bobblehead, but it's a Star Wars bobblehead. And I think it's Mandalorian. So that kind of dual branding, that's always the key. Whenever I see dual branded stuff, it's like these, right? Peter Millar and Masters is going to do better, right? Titleist and Scotty Cameron and all the different stuff that goes with it. But anyway, this one sold $41.95 plus shipping. I'm going to repackage that because there's a certain way you need to package bobbleheads to keep their... I've got a video about it. You can watch it. And have you ever had those things like I talked about the VT? It's the same thing with these posters here. It seems like I sell these Disney posters. I'm going to put a picture up right here because I'm going to grab it with the camera off. It seems like I sell these Disney posters for like 2-3 weeks, and I sell a bunch, and then they don't sell forever, which is a little odd. But, you know, I have all kinds of items like that. Those ET pens, you've seen me sell those like crazy, and then they just stop. You know, I decided I was just going to leave them up there because I didn't want to mess them up while I was doing all this other stuff, and I'll pull them out when it's time to ship them. Ship them in 4x4x48s, and I cut them down and turn them into triangles because when you ship posters, triangles have a little bit more stability to it. There was 46 of these. There's my quantity listing. I think we're down to like 7, and they're only going for $9.95, but hey, I'll take it. I just remembered I never told you my little Mercari eBay story. I'll tell you in a second. But for those of you who've been asking about me doing a Mercari video, that's kind of one of those topics where I don't know enough information to really comment on it, but I'm getting closer. So maybe next video we'll talk about Mercari's changes because, boy, everybody's got an opinion about that. And I had a feeling they would. This is a cool little item I picked up for $1 or $2, and I had no idea what the heck it was. It said, what is it, a drain grate? And it had that sticker on it, $59.99. I'm like, well, I'll pay a couple bucks for it. What the heck? Didn't even know what it was worth. And I brought it home, and it was worth money. There's some sold comps. And I put it out there for $33.25 plus shipping, and it sold just like that. I'll start the Mercari story here just in a second. And this will kind of preface a little bit of hopefully what I get to talk about when I talk about Mercari's changes. Some of it might surprise you. Uh-oh. Heater came back on. Let me get that off there. And let me grab this first here. This is a Barbie. We put it out on auction. Ooh, almost lost me, y'all. Put this out on auction because I didn't really want to deal with it. And it had, if I remember, it has an issue on this one. Maybe this isn't even the right one. Wait a minute. Let me look. Yeah, definitely not the right one. I'm like, this is in way too good a condition to be the one that I was talking about. We wouldn't have put that one out on auction. This has got to be back in the toy bin. Yep, this is going to be the right one. and a bunch of Barbie clothes that probably have some value, I think. Yeah, this is it, but this is in pretty good shape too. It's got a bunch of Barbie clothes inside of it, some vintage stuff. And we decided to put it out on auction because I didn't want to come up with a value for it, and I wanted it sold quickly. There's another theory that I hear often that, I don't know, maybe it's got some validity to it. This and all the clothes sold for $30 plus shipping on auction, which I think was a pretty good deal for that one, because now that I remember, there was 2 of these we picked up, and one of them had a little damage on it. And we decided to put that one on Whatnot because I didn't want to list it over here. And this one was in good shape. Kelly picked it up, and I said, new to you repeats. And I saw a message from you earlier, so thank you. I think you wanted to make sure you got some stickers in there. And so we'll throw that stuff in there for you. I'll do it right now just so I don't forget. But the theory that I hear all the time is that when you have items on auction, it boosts all your other sales. I don't know that that's true or not. I gotta tell you, I just don't know it's true. I've also heard things like, hey, if you have a niche down store, your stuff will sell better. You'll get more followers. You'll get more repeat buyers. I think there's some truth to that, by the way. But I'm not going to niche down and have 5 different stores. It's just too much of a headache for me. Wallen was just about ready to follow me in here, and then he heard another dog barking out there. Sold a couple of I can always screw this up. Women's Harley shirts. A little bedazzled there. They're the same size, so I decided to put them both together. A little easier to sell. Same style, same size. They sold for $23 and change, I think, plus shipping. And of course, on the social media side of it, you know, there's all of us creators, you know, you talk behind the scenes. It's like, is eBay punishing you for this? Or, you know, there's so many people who look at your items and don't buy that it hurts your store. And then the other side of it is, you know, look at all the sales you get. There's all kinds of stuff that swirls around in that world too. And I usually don't waste my time on that too much either. It might be fun and interesting, but it's not productive, and I think that's really the key to this. I want to mention one thing real quick, and we have a few more sales. I'm actually mentioning a couple things. I wanted to give a thank you to, it was Max, Fast Talking Flipper, who bought, we put an auction up for charity. It had the number 1 Enema Man, or Enaman, and the number 2 Enema Man, and the number 3 Enema Man. And we put them all together, and they did that over there as a charity auction, and the proceeds went to Mary's van. They are up, by the way, to $37,000 on that charity, and so many of you have contributed, so thank you. And speaking of charity, I met up with Hilo's World completely by accident while I was down at sale at Roanoke, and he was extremely generous. And I'm going to keep one of the things he gave me, but we're going to auction the other ones off. I hear Turner coming out here, so he's going to be coming in. But look at this. He knows I love Tupperware, and he knows I love Blockbuster and 80s and 90s stuff. Turner, you can come in, bud. Okay. He's out there. I was afraid he was waiting. And he gave me that. This is staying in my 80s cave, so thank you so much. But we're going to do something with this for charity, and then we're out of these, except for the decoration. So we are going to sell this one. This one's a little bit rough comparatively. It's not brand new, but we're going to do a special Enema Man auction over there. I'll clean that up a little bit. It's got a little paint on it. And I'll do a special auction for that, and we'll do that for charity in his name. So thank you. I appreciate that kindness very, very much. You got that at Goodwill, man. Whew, these things have good value. That is really awesome. So Tupperware too. It's like a double for me. How cool is that? Love it. All right, Turner's got some Commonwealth comedy for us today. What do you got, bud?
What did one strawberry say to the other?
What did one strawberry say to the other? I don't know.
If you weren't so fresh, we wouldn't be in this jam.
Thank you, buddy. Bye.
Bye.
Here's a conspiracy theory that's anything but. I guess that means it's not a conspiracy theory. So hats tend to start selling in the springtime and on into the summer, and that's what's happened for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, they sell year round, but especially for me, they do better. And you know, hats aren't the best category in the world, but let me tell you, I just love them, and they continue to sell for me. And this is the second Marlboro hat we've sold lately. Little, oh my goodness, snapback hat right there. And both of them sold for $20 plus shipping. I sold another golf item, this time not on Mulligan's. This one is on eBay. I don't think, you know, it's not quite ready for prime time over there. We're trying to build it. And eventually I hope to list all my golf stuff over there, but it's not ready for that yet. Especially highly searchable things that people would typically go to eBay for, and a head cover is exactly that, right? You need a specific head cover. You're not just browsing to shop. You're just trying to find exactly what you need. And I know it's in here, and I should hear it because it's in a bag, but I don't hear it. Hold on. I didn't hear it because it was at the very bottom. It is an old Callaway Big Bertha club head cover, but it's still in the bag. I thought I'd get a little bit more for it, to be honest with you, but we got $11 plus shipping. Look at this. We sold another hat. And this one was cool. When I saw it, I'm like, that's going to be a winner. I've got all this stuff sitting out. And it should be in the other, I think, unless it's a racing hat. Just a minute. Yep, it was in the other. It is a Purina Chow Southern Peanut Dublin, Georgia hat. This is an awesome hat. And, you know, back in the day, it's the K products. Back in the day, you could get, man, you might even get $100 for this. Maybe not. But it is a cool hat. And this one sold because it's K products hat, snapback, Purina. It's just got that great vintage look to it. But the market is down a little bit on hats right now, and this one sold for $35 plus shipping. I just remembered on a video not too long ago, I did a little quote from a movie, a favorite movie of mine. I said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains. And people put what movie that came from. And I said I'd pick one winner, and the winner is R. Howard 295, and you're gonna get one free month to give my reseller Genie a try. And it's a particular QR code on this one. We'll send it out to you. Send me an email at commonwealthpicker@gmail.com, and I'll send it out to you. For anybody else that wants to give it a shot, I highly recommend it. For the right folks, of course, code Commonwealth. They are amazing people over there, and I just love them. Paul and Faith are awesome. All right, y'all, I just got back from Turner's practice. Wallen followed me in here, and I realized that I never shipped. We got everything else shipped and packed up in the car, but I never shipped those posters. And then I looked, and we sold another one for $35 plus shipping. So there's a couple more sales right there. And this Braves hat also sold. I did an offer on it, accepted an offer, $26 plus shipping on that one. All right, well, thanks again for coming by and seeing us on another episode here in the Commonwealth Cabin. We appreciate you as always, and I can't wait to see you next time.